experimental basis as of now.
You mentioned in the beginning, there was a drop in the global sale of the hydrogen vehicle last year about 36%. Why?
So this is what I was saying. See, one of the reasons, again, Toyota brought out a car called Toyota Mirai in 2014. It was running on technology of fuel cell. Okay, then Honda also brought Clarity, and then Hyundai brought Nexo. All three of them across the American market with a lot of subsidy and fanfare. But today, Reliance is not launching fuel cell vehicles. They are launching internal commercial running on hydrogen. So this is the big problem the industry faces. If you adopt one technology and tomorrow the technology changes, your entire investment has gone for a toss. Now fuel cell vehicles, the Toyota Mirai, which Shri Nitin Gadkari also has, cost 60 lakhs. Whereas the electric vehicle with the same performance is going to cost 25 lakhs. So that kind of a premium people are not willing to pay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because I am into the investments space and.
Could you speak louder, please?
Yeah, I'm a venture capitalist myself. Voice is not clear.
Voice is not clear. So, can you increase the volume of the mic, please? Or take the other one.
Yeah, my name is Sanjeev. I'm a venture capitalist myself, and a lot of these projects have come to our venture capitalist firm. And one of the main problem is that the consortium is unable to invest in any of the ventures because they do not know what kind of revenues that they'll be able to earn over time. So since the technology is still in the very initial stage, I've attended a lot of seminars and I've been to many places also where these hydrogen-based ecosystems are being cultivated also. But I've yet to see a complete technology being made in India, which I feel is still some time away. But that does not mean that we should stop looking into it, and we should encourage startups to come up with these technologies more and more, which as of today they have not shown any kind of they haven't really come up with any kind of a solution, except for the side of the government. If like for organizations like Indian Railway, yes, they can do a very good job. Because on each railway station, the solar panels are already been installed. Now, each railway station has a basic 80 kilowatts of generator sets being installed on railway stations. These railway stations can, through the use of the solar panels, they can use that electricity for the electrolyzers and convert that electricity for the internal use of a railway station. Those 80 generator sets can be replaced with hydrogen-based generator sets. So that is one area where the government can do a lot of work, as well as tracks where they use locomotive for the maintenance. These locomotives are basically all diesel operated because they have to go on the top of these vehicles to repair the electric lines. So their electric locomotives are not being used. There is hydrogen-based generator sets being driven through generator fuel. Hydrogen fuel can be used. So that is where if government can come up with the kind of investment that this industry is looking for, then this industry can really get some kind of trust. Otherwise, at the local level or at the basic level of a consumer, I don't see this thing penetrating the market, at least for the next 10 years.
Sir, like you said, we should be doing it. I'll tell you why we are not doing it. Like you gave an example of railways. They have got so much space on the station, they can put solar panels, convert. it's not that they don't want to convert. They are saying if I go for hydrogen, I am getting an energy conversion efficiency of 40%. If I go for batteries, I am getting a conversion efficiency of 90%. Another project I'll tell you, which one of the concept papers we had written with IIT Kanpur. Railways has got a lot of old wagons. Now the same gravity storage method, now imagine if they put just traction in those old motors and fill them with sand. Take them up the slope when you've got excess energy and let them roll down when the energy is required. No batteries, no hydrogen, no complication. Just motors are required on the beach, that's all. And a sloping, at a slope on which the wagons can go up. The purpose achieved is still the same. You are levelizing the energy. When you've got excess storage, you are storing it. And when the sun goes down, you are releasing it. So, hydrogen is facing a lot of challenges on this. Hydrogen is one option, but it is the most complicated option as of now. The fuel cells are very expensive. Electrolyzers, the problem is, like the previous speaker also said, 50 kilowatt hours of energy for 1 kg, which possibly will come down to 30-35 over a period of time. Now, unless you are getting energy at 1 rupee, 1 rupee 50 paisa, you can't produce hydrogen at $1. To produce hydrogen $1, you need solar energy at about 1 rupee 20 to 1 rupee 30 paisa. Only then you can produce it. So that can happen only at grid scale, Rajasthan and those kind of areas, or in coastal areas where you got wind turbines. Thank you, gentlemen.
It was a long presentation and it was really a very great question answer session was there. Our next presenter is Mr. Akhilesh Kumar. His topic of the study is new economic evaluation contours in line with UNFCCC guidelines for control of global warming with hydrogen use. Sir, may I request you to please come on the stage, or as you are comfortable, tell me. Please put the next slide, next PPT. Backstage to please start the PPT.
Good afternoon, Honorable Professor Maheshwari, Honorable S.C. Gupta Sahab, he has been my guru, Mr. Sinha, and all distinguished speakers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. This topic of mine is on new economic evaluation contours in line with UNFCCC guidelines for control of global warming with hydrogen use. I'll tell something about myself. I started at Sindri, and the first hydrogen plant there was based on producer gas, and that producer gas was based on coal. There was another in parallel hydrogen plant which was based on coke gasification, and there used to be like a steel plant, coke oven battery, and tons of material of fines of carbon was sprayed over the entire Sindri township, and there was a thick layer. When we sleep in the night and get up in the morning, and that was the second stage of 1972, 73 I am talking. Thereafter, I came to Gorakhpur, where this raw material was naphtha from petrochemical feedstock, petroleum refinery as one of the products, and it was based on partial oxidation of naphtha with oxygen. And I have seen an accident where the top half of the reactor was cut like a muskmelon, as if some knife has been used for it, and weighing about 2.8 ton flew about 1 kilometer away from there. So this was the kind of the hazard connected with the hydrogen. And then I have seen natural gas. And in this whole process, the energy consumption from a level of 11 gcal per ton came down to now 7.5. And I remember that when I graduated from IITR in the year 1971, the CO2 emission was of the order of 326. And now, if you know from the newspaper reports, it is 420. If you look back in the period when there was the industrial revolution going on in whole of the world, and that was the period 1750 and 1800, that time the level of CO2 concentration in the atmosphere or the other along with the other greenhouse gases equivalent was 240 only. Now when I mentioned about 1971, you find that 94 increase has taken over in about less than 71 to this, you can hardly say 50 years, while on the other hand, that base figure of 248 was stagnant over a period of 8,50,000 years back. So what is all this? What I am trying to indicate about that it is carbon, and carbon is causing problem, and carbon is deeply related with hydrogen. You will ask me that how carbon is related. If I ask you to look into the figures of your own body weight, it consists of 11 elements and by weight, and that is 18% of it is carbon itself. If you look outside, everywhere you find carbon. Whatever you consume as the food or whatever you consume as cosmetics, durables, whatever you are consuming, that is the embedded carbon. Nothing can be done about it. But there is the other side of it which is known as a luxury, like traveling in air, traveling in cars, traveling in buses, or having your own cars and scooters, or rails, whatever you talk about. That becomes one of the highest sector of consumption of carbon, and it evidently get converted to CO2 only, and it's not like a consumer like the humans are. So there are two sides of the coin, and as regards the mitigation is concerned, as per the UNFCCC guidelines, this mitigation is not possible for whatever you consume, because that is the added carbon. If I change the carbon out of that, the whole properties will get changed and nothing will remain. So that is not the substitution. But what is open for substitution is the other side of it, where you are using it as a fuel, and there it goes for transportation sector. There it also goes to the coal-based power plants. And today, one of the highest polluter, we are the third largest polluter in whole of the world in terms of the CO2, and power generation is one such area. Now, if you talk of the greening, like the topic itself is green hydrogen. Now, when you talk about the green hydrogen, then it is that the cost of something. If you look at the figures, I'll come slightly later, but I'll briefly tell you about that what is the havoc being done with respect to this carbon itself. I'll take hardly 2-3 minutes and show you some slides, and thereafter I jump on to this hydrogen part of it. Next, please.
Backstage is requested to switch on the pointer, please. Backstage. Excuse me. Pointer is not working.
Yeah. So, working now. Now, okay, it is not happened. There you find a carbon cycle, and this carbon cycle is the balancing, the dynamic balancing of the nature with earth, crust, seas, atmosphere, and you will be surprised to know that whatever you are adding to the atmosphere and whatever you have already added it to today till now, it may take 10,000 years to wipe off. Don't think that this nature is not able to capable to remediate it, but it is in fact 10 times higher than this. But so much of debris you have already contributed in past 250 years that it may take 10,000 years to even more, or say 1 lakh year to dilute this. So the message goes very clearly that stop it today. Stop using carbon for fuel. Unfortunately, even till date, we are continuing with carbon in the form of the coal, and several new projects are also still coming up, and they are proposed to come based on the gasification side of the coal also. So this, as regards the remediation is concerned, hydrogen will come in the way, but there are contours of the problem which to a common person, a common citizen, are not visible, or even some professionals also, it may not be visible. I'll show you that with certain examples, 2 examples I have taken, and that will bring the fact before your eyes. This is the fire which is going on in the jungles. At several places you find that the warmer temperature and extreme weather increases the frequency and severity of the disturbance and disasters, including devastating floods, drought, wildfire, blowdown, whatnot. Biodiversity is also disappearing and sea levels are rising. So this is the benefit you get, as this is a picture from Germany and it is flooded. It does not happen, my daughter lives there, but I find it really miserable. These are certain terms which the United Nations use about this is IPCC, the full form is Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, and IPCC's role is to advance scientific knowledge about the climate change by the human activity. And then this is the UNFCCC, this full form is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It is traditional treaty that was signed in 1992, but all were sleeping thereafter. No action. In fact, so much of agreement has been done between 193 countries, but none has taken it up seriously over it. Then here you find the net zero. This refers to the climate neutrality objective, where carbon removals have to be fully integrated with all operations. And then you have other things. Now when we talk about this mitigation, I was coming to this end of the examples of hydrogen. Now take the case here. This is presently steel production capacity is 161 million ton of steel. Now if after 5 years or so, expectedly, what I am saying today, that if I am able to develop the technology for use of hydrogen as substitute of the carbon monoxide which is based on carbon, then what are the repercussions of using this hydrogen? Estimate of hydrogen required will be 9.338 million ton per annum. This is only India I am talking. Estimates of the hydrogen plant cost will be 44.466 billion. Additional water requirement is again a colossal amount, 83.5 million ton, and additional power requirement is 66.7 gigawatt. Now, when you look at this when proven technology by direct reduction will be available, it is a condition. The scheme for financing this additional capital investment, no one is clear about that where from it will come. What is the policy of the government of India on this account? It's not clear. It's not very crystal clear. There are things written, but nothing is there. And when proven water electrolysis technology, which guarantees production of hydrogen at around $1.5 per kg, as on today, the cost of the hydrogen is $7.5 per kg. So it's a long journey to go, and lot of investment is needed for doing this kind of research. And today, I don't know, in this country there is going some effort is going on, but not so visible success. With ongoing planning and R&D work on various issues, how to imbibe confidence in the marketing for minimum hydrogen capacity. Now, the problem comes that if you start making hydrogen for the industry of this only steel sector, the issue is that this hydrogen is about 13.8 times lighter than compared to what water is. And if you transport it, the cost is accordingly 13 to 14 times more. Another property is that if you carry this hydrogen in the frozen form or in the molten state, there also it is too costly to compress it to 700 bar or 350 bar. And that consumption of power itself is a colossal figure. So these are the kind of the issues which are emerging on tactical forum. This is the, if I take the case of the defossilization of carbon and power generation, and what you find that today's energy consumption in the year 2023 was 1.14 gigaton of oil equivalent, and 20% of this was in the this sector of the power. Half of this can be traced to this, and if you look at the calculation, then it comes to that the solar power required for this one for generating hydrogen, that will be hydrogen requirement is going to be 63.76 million ton, which is 6.82 times of the steel. This is the case of the India I am talking. And again the same thing, that hydrogen plant cost is a colossal figure of 303 billion, additional water requirement 569 billion ton. Where from you get this much of water? This basic question is very easy to debate and say suggestions, but when it comes from the practical forum, then there is an utter failure. And for last 6 years, nothing concrete has so far been achieved. There are 3 or 4 hydrogen plants which were taken up for implementation. They have been cancelled because there is a darkness about this that if you ship this hydrogen from one point to the other, then how to go? Which tanker will take it? How much? Because it is so light. And the normal tanker which takes about 13 to 14 tons or 15 tons may hardly carry about 3 tons. So this and the requirement is this colossal quantities. So how to handle this? That's a real problem. Money is a problem. So what I have tried to say here that analyze your contours. If you look for the transportation, if you look for the production, if you look for the storage, every area of it is a problem because it is hydrogen has got a different properties, different characters. Uh, there are other uh, there are other reasons also that clean energy transition, clean cooking, faster electricity demand. Now, electricity demand is controlled by electrical vehicles also, by other areas also, where hydrogen will go to that side or where hydrogen will come here, where from I get hydrogen, there is a mismatch presently. And things are evolutionary, in evolutionary stage. At the moment, there is no known financial model which can assure you that yes, this project will work on implementation, the return will work, and another side of it is the carbon credit. Now, I foresee rather that the future project will be based on return by carbon credit system only, because there is no other way. Today, you produce so many things which you consume, maybe they are cosmetics, maybe they are food items, on account of the holocaust created by carbon on the atmosphere, the agricultural production has been seriously affected. Yesterday I came to know that this bajra crop is totally damaged and I can't get the bajra for my consumption. So this is the likely the scene of the things to come. So when you decide about any project in future which is on hydrogen or related of any other item, look for that what kind of care you have to take for the environment and decide judiciously about it. There is a time of change thinking, of changing models of evaluation, and I have only in short tried to analyze and tried to indicate that this is the one area where just 10 minutes or 15 minutes talking will not do. I have just indicated the areas which are attached with this. So this all I wanted to say on this occasion. If you have any questions, you can ask me, but I am hard of hearing, so you can write it down, I'll reply. I have my email also. Later on, you can talk to me about it. These are the email. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, the third and fourth paper presenters are absent. I believe there are no representatives of urban energy, green IoT, etc., and hydrogen and green steel production. Still, I think they have not reported. So to move further, I would like to request session chair if you want to give any remarks, sir. No, sir. Any remarks, sir? I will request session chair if you have any remarks for this session, sir.
So in this session we had two papers, and in fact the first paper highlighted what will be the role of hydrogen as an alternate fuel, and the second, handling and management of hydrogen is a crucial parameter. So it is to be taken address right from the grassroots to the consumer end. So this is definitely a big challenge. In 2025, most probably in the month of January, the Indian Railways is planning to run first hydrogen train. So that will pave the way for new avenues of energy sources. And already being an electrical engineer, we use hydrogen for some other purpose, and I appreciate that the problems in the handling of hydrogen has been highlighted in the second paper, and in the first paper the problems associated with the production of hydrogen is highlighted. So I thank both the authors for contributing over here and giving insight into the hydrogen technology. Thanks, please.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Engineer Puneet Goyal, sir, to please present memento to the session chair. I actually escaped the profile of the session chair earlier. Sir is BE and MSc Engineering from AMU in year 1982 and 1985. He served at AMU for 13 years and in IIT Roorkee for 19 years. Sir is having 175 research papers. Sir has done PhD from Roorkee University.
एक मिनट जरा बैकड्रॉप आ रहा है अभी फोटोग्राफ।
Now, I would like to request Engineer Grover, sir, to please give memento to Wing Commander Rajiv Srivastava, sir. Now, I would like to request Gupta, sir, to give memento to Mr. Akhilesh Kumar. I would request session chair to please join the photo session. And I will request IPEC sir also. And finally, I would request this technical session to all the presenters to be here for a session photograph. Thank you so much. So, to continue with the technical session 3, we will be doing it tomorrow. sir would like to speak few words before we end the session, so please.
हम लोग जब एयर पोल्यूशन की बात करते हैं, हर कोई जो है पराली को ब्लेम करता है, लेकिन अभी काम कर रहे हैं। लेकिन अभी 15-16 नवंबर के आसपास जब ये AQI बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ना शुरू हुआ, तो मैं नॉर्मली पिछले 10 साल से इसको फॉलो कर रहा हूँ, और जितना हम शोर मचाते हैं कि AQI जो है पटाखों से हो रहा है, अभी पावर प्लांट की बात भी हो रही है, अभी पराली की बात होती है, लेकिन अगर आप AQI का मैप देखें दिल्ली NCR का, तो आपको लगेगा कि जो दिल्ली में AQI है, वन पर्टिकुलर डे हर जगह पर 600, 650, 500 से लेकर 999 तक था। सत्यवती कॉलेज का AQI 999 था। लेकिन उसके आसपास एक तरफ आप लीजिए ईस्ट में गाजियाबाद का शायद 330 था, और बहादुरगढ़ दूसरी तरफ 316 था। अब आप ये बताइए कि अगर मेरे दाएं बाएं जो हैं वो AQI 300 है, और दिल्ली के सब जितने मॉनिटरिंग स्टेशन हैं वो सब 500 से ऊपर हैं, 999 तक हैं, तो ये बाहर के फैक्टर हैं या अंदर के फैक्टर हैं? मतलब पराली तो दिल्ली में नहीं चलती, पटाखे भी नहीं चल रहे थे 15 नवंबर को। हम इतना हल्ला करते हैं, बड़े बड़े विद्वान लोग भी इसी की चर्चा करते हैं, और एवरेज 400 की बात करते हैं। 400 एवरेज तो 24 घंटे का होता है ना। आपकी जो मॉनिटरिंग स्टेशन है वो आवरली मॉनिटरिंग करते हैं। बीच में अगर आप देखें किसी भी दिन का, तो इस तरह से जब चार्ट आता है उसका, तो जिस टाइम पर ये पीक पे जाता है उस समय हमारे को फायर फाइटिंग स्टेशन होना चाहिए ना, जो जाकर कैच करेंगे भाई कहाँ किसकी वजह से हो रहा है ये। वी डोंट वांट टू चेक दैट, यू ओनली वांट टू ब्लेम पराली। मैनेजमेंट इज लुक इनटू योर हाउस। अगर हम अपने घर को संभालना शुरू कर दें, लेट्स एनालाइज कॉजेज। आपने कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री बंद कर दी, somebody has to analyze, कहीं अगर कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है तो उसके आसपास एक स्टडी की जाए 100 मीटर पर, 500 मीटर पर, उसका कितना डस्ट वहां तक पहुंच रही है, नहीं पहुंचती है। हाँ,
सर ने बिल्कुल ठीक बोला है कि बिकॉज वी कैन नॉट स्पीक आउट बिकॉज ऑफ पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज। अगर आप कुछ कहेंगे तो आपको जेल हो जाएगी, कोई मंत्री राहुल जी कहेंगे तो उनको कुछ नहीं होगा। सो दिस इज पॉलिटिकल इशू, वी आर नॉट एबल टू टेल एवरीबॉडी। जैसे आपने बोला, yesterday I was doing in a safety audit at construction site, DMRC, and all the labor they were sitting idle. मैंने कहा क्या होगा, कहते हैं तनख्वाह भी बन जाएगी, काम बंद है क्योंकि ऑर्डर्स है ऊपर से। और देयर वाज नॉट एट ऑल डस्ट देयर, कोई डस्ट नहीं थी। आज ये रामाकृष्ण मिशन मार्ग, तो ये अब पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज हैं सर, हम कुछ कर नहीं सकते। बट जो स्टार्ट जो हाइड्रोजन का हुआ है, दैट्स अ वेरी वेरी वैलिड स्टेप। और इसमें जो सबसे ज़्यादा खतरा है, CNG की बस में आग लगती है तो क्या होता है, और अगर हाइड्रोजन वाली में लगी तो क्या होगा। प्रॉब्लम है, बट गुड स्टार्ट। रेलवे के पास इतनी जमीन है, they can go for solar and they can start with it. And I think they have taken, और लोग कहते हैं ना स्टार्ट करेंगे क्या होगा। रेलवे इतनी ट्रेन स्टार्ट की हैं, they have come in force। अब लोग खुश हैं, तत्काल है, ये बदलने वाला है। तो धीरे धीरे ये स्टेप्स अच्छे हैं। हमारी तो एज है नहीं, बट आने वाले टाइम में न्यू जनरेशन को दे हैव टू टेक केयर। थैंक यू।
ऐसा है साहब, आप जो मर्जी ले आइए फ्यूल में, all natural resources are going to remain. You cannot write off petroleum products, you cannot write off coal. इनके ऊपर डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, रिसर्च है, इनको इम्प्रूव किया जा रहा है, इनके कंबस्शन को, इनके इस्तेमाल करने को, राइट। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम जो है हमारा एनफोर्समेंट नहीं है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल कहना नहीं चाहिए, आप अगर मैं गाजियाबाद में यूपी रोडवेज की बसों को देखता हूँ, सब काला धूल फेंकती जाती है, उनका कोई पीयूसी नहीं होता, उनको कोई पकड़ता नहीं है। तो क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर हम सोर्स पे नहीं जाते, सिर्फ शोर मचाने से कंट्रोल नहीं होगा। All fuels will remain, even diesel will remain, because you cannot shut off all the this जो बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां जिन्होंने बॉश है और आपका ये जितने भी इन्वॉल्व हैं इंडस्ट्री, they are not going to shut off their shops. They are trying to improve the technology, and this will remain. All fuels will remain, coal will remain, petroleum will remain, hydrogen will come, EVs will come. Let everybody compete.
We are having a tea session here only, in the lobby area, and we need to wait for 5-10 minutes. So we are encouraging the discussion in between. Yes, I think whosoever is present here, we can have a group photograph on stage. Okay.
हो गया खत्म।
Everyone please join.
Good idea, very good.
पीछे आ जाओ। अब पीछे आओ सर। मैम जो सर को बुला लो आगे, एक सेकंड और। यस प्लीज। वेट करेंगे सर। थैंक यू। हेलो 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 सुजीत